Hi there and welcome back to Loopy Mabel Vintage Style Crochet. My name is Jane and thank you to all my lovely subscribers. I really do appreciate your support, and if it's the first time you're here at Loopy Mabel then you're very welcome, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then you'll be kept up to date when all my videos do come out. Now in today's video I'm following on in my Mother's Day mini series, little gifts to give to mum, or not only mum but for anyone special that's in your life. But in today's video I'm going to show you how to make these cute little posie drawstring bags. Really simple and take no time at all, and absolutely brilliant for using up your leftover yarns. So if you'd like to make one too and you'd like to follow along on the tutorial, you need a 4mm hook, any double knit yarn, and I shall see you back here in a moment. So for today's tutorial on how to make this cute little posie bag, I'm going to be using Drops Muscat, which is a mercerized cotton. I'm going to be using two shades. I'm going to have cream for the bottom and this for the mane, and the cream for the trim at the top and probably for the little bow. This one I've made and I'm going to give to mum for Mother's Day. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook, darning needles to sew in our ends, obviously some scissors and a stitch marker. And again we're being supervised by Toffee today. Not sure how long he'll stay there, but that's Toffee. He likes to get involved. Right, so let's begin. So we're going to start off by doing the base, and the base is just a lovely flat circle. So we're just going to start off by doing that, and then we'll move on up to that lovely fan pattern. And this tutorial is in UK terms, so if you're watching from the US, please be aware of that. And we're going to start off by making our magic circle. So you make your magic circle whichever way you're familiar with. I do have a tutorial on it if you need to refer to it. And we're just going to chain one, which doesn't count as a stitch, and into that magic circle I'm going to do 12 trebles. So if you're watching from the US, that would be 12 double crochets. So I'm just going to yarn over, insert my hook into that magic circle, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's our first treble. So I'm going to continue like that with 12 trebles in the ring. So if you want to work 12 trebles, I shall see you in a moment. I've just got a couple more to do. 11 and 12, like so, and just tighten your yarn there to pull that magic circle in, and we're now ready to work on to our next round. So we're going to continue, we're not going to slip stitch now, we're going to continue around in a spiral, and so we're going to insert our hook into the top of that first treble that we did, not the chain one because that didn't count as a stitch, into the top of our first treble like so, and we're going to work a treble. So insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to insert our stitch marker to the top of that treble that we just made, and then down into that same stitch we're going to work another treble. So down into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So we've got 2 trebles in that first stitch, and then we're going to go down into the next stitch and work 2 more trebles. We're going to work 2 trebles in every stitch up to the stitch marker, which will then give us 24 trebles. So if you want to continue just like me, working 2 trebles in every stitch, and I'll see you somewhere around about here. So I've just got one more set of 2 trebles to do into the top of that last stitch there, So I'll just do 2 trebles, and that should bring us to our stitch marker, and that will give us 24 stitches so far. So we're going to move our stitch marker, and into that next stitch we're going to work a treble, insert our stitch marker again, another treble into that same stitch, like so. Into the next one we're going to just do 1 treble, and then into the next we're going to do 2 trebles, and then into the next we're going to do 1 treble, and then 2 into the next. So if you just repeat this all the way along, one into the next, 2 trebles into the next, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. I'll see you somewhere around about here. So I've just got a few more to do, so I've just got to do 1 into the next, and then 2 into the next, and finishing with 1 into that last one, like so. So just remove our stitch marker again, and into that next stitch we're going to work treble, insert our stitch marker, and work 1 more treble back down into that same stitch, and then we're going to work 1 treble into the following 2 stitches, so 1 and into the next one, and then 2 into the next, 1, 2, then 1 into the following 2, 1, then 1 into the next, like so. So if we work all the way around now, working 2, then 1, then 1, then 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, all the way around, and I shall see you somewhere around about here. I've just got my last few stitches to go, and you should be ending with 2 trebles in to the 3rd last stitch, then followed by a treble into the last 2. Right, so that is finishing off the base. So I'm just going to remove the stitch marker, and I'm going to slip stitch to the next, and that's going to finish off our base. And we're now going to work on the main part of the posy bag. I'm just going to go around with 1 row of trebles, so I'm just going to chain 3, and that will count as our first treble, and into the next we'll insert our hook and work a treble, and work a treble all the way around, so that you hook into every stitch, and work a treble all the way around, and I shall see you somewhere round about here, and then we'll go on to the pattern. Right, so I'm almost back to the beginning. There's my chain 3, so I've just got 2 more trebles, and just going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, but I'm going to change my colour here, so I'm going to add in this really lovely old-fashioned caramel colour. But you don't have to change colour, you just carry on in the same colour if you want, but I'm going to change mine here. So I'm going to insert my hook into the top of that chain 3, 1, 2, 3, insert my hook, and I'm going to bring in this colour, and I'm just going to trim the cream and just sew it with that caramel colour. So now we're going to go on to the lovely shell pattern. So I'm just going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and down into that same stitch I'm going to insert my hook and work a double crochet. and then I'm going to skip 2, 1, 2, insert my hook and do 5 trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, 5. So I've done 5 trebles into the same stitch. I'm going to skip 2 and I'm going to insert my hook and work a double crochet into the next, and that creates that pretty fan shape or shell stitch. And then I'm going to skip 2 and then I'm going to work 5 trebles into the next, and it's as simple as that. So we're going to do this all the way around. So work 5 trebles, skip 2, work a double crochet, skip 2, work 5 trebles. So skip 2, insert your hook and work a double crochet, and skip 2 and work 5 trebles. So if you want to continue like me, working the same, 5 trebles into 1, skip 2, then double crochet, skip 2, then 5 trebles. And I shall see you somewhere around about here to join this first row, and then we'll go on to the next. So I've got to the end almost of this first round, so I'm going to skip 2, 1, 2, do 5 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm just going to skip what's left, and I'm going to just slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet that we did, not the chain one. There's the chain one there, ignore that. We're going to go into this one here, which is the top of our double crochet. So insert your hook and just slip stitch to close that round. You'll find now that it started to curl in on itself. Looks like a cute little ball. So for round 2 we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's going to count as our first treble, and down into that same stitch we're going to do 2 more trebles, 1 and 2, and we're just going to leave that as a half fan because we're going to come all the way round and finish off when we get here. So we're just going to leave that as a half fan at the moment, and then we're going to go to the top of that next fan shape, and the middle one, which will be the third one, the middle treble in that fan shape, we're going to insert our hook like so and work a double crochet, and then we're going to come down into the next, because all the while we're skipping 2, so we're going to come down into that double crochet from the row below, and we're going to work 5 trebles. So we're going to be making our fan shape into that double crochet. So 5 trebles, and then we're going to skip the 2 and end up at the middle of that 5 treble of the next and work a double crochet. So what we're doing is we're putting the fan into the bottom part, and then we're going to do our double crochet to the top of the fan, and then down into the bottom part we're going to put our fan, and then a double crochet to the top for this row. So skip 2 and then do 5 trebles into that double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then move across to the middle one of our shell there, insert your hook and work a double crochet. So we're going to repeat that all the way along, 5 trebles into that double crochet, and then a double crochet into the top of the middle of the shell, back down into the next double crochet, work 5 trebles, and continue like this all the way along, and I shall see you somewhere around about here, and I'll show you how to finish off this round. Right, so I've just finished off with a double crochet to the top of that 5 treble, and I'm just back to where we started, where, if you remember, we have the half shell there. So I'm just going to finish off this shell. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the same place where we created that half shell and work 2 more trebles, which makes up the 5 we need for the shell. So 1, 2, like so, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of that first chain 3, 1, 2, 3, so the top one there, and that finishes off your shell pattern. Now the reason why I've done it that way is that it lands us nicely back where we need to be for the next round, right on top of the 5 trebles to do our double crochet, because then we're going to go down into the next dip and work our 5 trebles and then double crochet at the top. So you're just going to repeat it over and over. So when you come to the beginning of each row, if you're on top of a shell, you do a double crochet, and if you're down in the dip there, you do 5 trebles. So here we are at the beginning of this first row, so we're going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then we're going to insert our hook into the top there and work a double crochet, and then we're going to skip and we're going to work 5 trebles back down into that dip to create our next shell. And we're just going to repeat this over and over for every round until we've got 11 of these shell rows. And so we're going to go, next would be the top of the shell, so we're going to insert our hook to the middle and work a double crochet, and then we're back down into that dip and we're going to work 5 trebles. So that's all you need to do, 5 trebles in the dip and a double crochet on the top of the shell. So if you want to continue around like me, if you want to pause the video and rewind for each of those 2 rows that we've just done, feel free. So there's our 5 trebles. We're just going to double crochet into the top of that shell, and then we'll go back down and we work 5 trebles, and then we would do a double crochet to the top of the shell. I'll just repeat that all the way around, and when you come back to the beginning of this row, you would just slip stitch to the top of your first double crochet, and then from there you would then do your chain 3 followed by 2 trebles, then all the way around doing your double crochets and your shells, coming back to this round, finishing off with 2 trebles and slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. But if you need to pause the video, rewind it for those 2 rows that we've just done, feel free. But that's all you're going to do now, is repeat this shell row until you've got 11 of these shell rows in total, and I shall see you at the top of that 11th row, and I'll show you how to go on to make our little bobble tie to complete our little posy bag. Right, so I've got to the end of my 11 rows of the shell stitch. I changed my colour on the end of the 10th row just so it matches the base, and I'm just finished off my last shell stitch, so I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet that I did at that beginning of that round, and I'm just going to snip the yarn and just pull it through, and that completes the posy bag. Just need to sew in our ends. There we go, so that's posy bag complete. Now we're just going to make our little drawstring. So all we're going to do, I'm just going to use the cream shade for this example. So make your slip knot, and I'm just going to chain 100, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, like so, and continue till you've got 100 chains. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. I found 100 chains is nice and long for you to thread it through and tie it into a nice bow and long enough to hang down, but you don't have to do it that long. But I found after experimenting that's quite a good length, so 100 chains. We're just going to make our little bobble stitch on the end, and all we're going to do is go down into the third chain from our hook, so 1, 2, 3, go down into that third chain and work an incomplete treble like so, and then do that 2 more times. So down into the same stitch there, come up, pull through 2, and again, and we've got 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go down into the back there, that back loop there, and work 3 incomplete trebles. So yarn over, down into the back there, yarn over, pull through 2, do that 3 times till you've got 4 loops on your hook like so, yarn over and pull through, and we're going to bring this top section down over onto this, so we're going to fold it down like so, and that will create our little pom-pom. So we're just going to bring it down and we're going to insert our hook back down into the base where we started our first part of the bobble. So insert your hook back through there, insert your hook and slip stitch you're closed, and that creates a little pom-pom. And then I'm just going to go all the way down this chain with double crochets. So just work your way all the way down to the bottom of the chain, inserting your hook into each chain and work a double crochet. And I shall see you somewhere towards the end and we'll make our second pom-pom. Right, so I've got to the end of my chain, so I've just got 2 more double crochets to go. And I'm just going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. I'm just going to work down in, just going to work down into the bottom of that chain 3 and do 3 incomplete trebles. 1, 2, 3. And we've got 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work down into the back there again with 3 incomplete trebles. 1, 2 and 3. So we've got 4 loops on our hook, and yarn over and pull through, and bring that down like we did on the other one, and insert our hook into the base and just slip stitch to close, and just trim our yarn and just pull through to secure. And there's our lovely bobble on the end, and we just need to sew in our ends. So I've just sewn in the ends, and all we're going to do now is thread our bobble tie through, and I chose to go down 1, 2, below the third. So just going to count down 3, 1, 2, 3 of the fans, and I'm just going to insert my bobble into the gap either side. So I'm going to go down into this side of the fan. Just pop it through and bring it back out on the other side of the fan. I'm just going to do that all the way along, threading it over, so it goes behind the fan and then goes over the double crochet. So over the double crochet and then behind the fan, and back out the back of the other side of the fan shape. It can be a bit fiddly, but we just like so, and over the double crochet and back down the back of the next fan. So just weave it in and out, and I just popped it through the last hole there, and there we go. I've threaded the tie all the way around, so it goes under the fan and over the double crochet and under the fan. Then gather it at the top, tie it into a pretty bow, and there you have your sweet little drawstring posy bag. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and then you'll be kept up to date with all the videos that I do bring out. This is so sweet, so simple to make. I'm going to pop some scented candles in and give one to my mum for Mother's Day, but they're not just for Mother's Day. Perfect little gift giving idea for any occasion, so I think they're really, really sweet. We'll also leave a link to all the other videos that I've got in the Mother's Day mini series as well, just to give you an idea of little gifts to give for mum. But it's really sweet. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Do love to read your comments, so don't forget to put your comments in the box below. And obviously, as I say, until the next time, please take care and happy crochet.